And it's like, it makes me just want to fuck them up. I'm so angry that they did this to you. But I'm especially angry because you were successfully using Tor, and they were still able to watch what you were doing because they had compromised the whole computer, right? And there's just no way. So in this case, they didn't break Tor, just like they didn't break Skype. But in reality, I bet you if we go through these pictures, we can probably find wow, like in this case, it was taking a screenshot before you had logged in, and here we'll probably
even before I logged in.
Yeah, and here's your Skype chats, right? So they see exactly what you're saying with someone, right? Because they have it. And oh yeah, and here's what you should use. You should use Avast, antivirus. Look, I just like to say this is not an endorsement for Avast, just for the record, right? Because Avast did absolutely fucking nothing to help you. I'm tired, so now I've turned into a sailor, but it's really, really upsetting, to see this. Yeah. And it's especially upsetting to see these types of things taking place, and to see them just.
And this is a MacBook too.
Yeah, well, I mean, every computer that's targeted is compromisable. It just bothers me to see it happening to people that are working for this, but so to work for social change.
They always tell you you don't need antivirus for Mac.
I don't have one.
That's what they say, yeah.
Totally, yeah. And they see everything you're writing all the time, endlessly. And you might even be able. So there's your email. And my guess is that if they were to look. If we were to look, so here, every time you move your mouse, every time you chatted, you typed something, yeah, everything. And then, so there it is, you sent that email, you attached the document, you mailed it over, and so they have screenshots, one right after the other, every single time. So everything you're doing, they have a screenshot of every single time. You typed the key, they took a picture, basically. In this case, not every time, but every time you had a completed sentence or you chatted and you hit enter, then it took a screenshot. So here you are editing this document and then they're watching you edit the document.
But what about
How do you see it right here?
Yeah, that has happened to me before, so I was like, yeah.
I mean, this is such a joke,
I was
though.
almost going crazy.
I mean, it's such a joke. What complete asshats that they log it into this folder which you can see, and the back door is right there. I mean, it's one of those
Can we get rid of this folder by now?
Yeah, I'm doing it. But I mean, what we should do actually is we should not completely get rid of it. I mean, I think we should, but the reason I say that is that
save it in.
You need to document.
Yeah, we need to keep a copy of it. So we need a USB disk, and we'll keep a copy of all of it. And we have the evidence that your computer has been compromised. We have the evidence that they have done this. We have the evidence that this is how it would run. We can even reinfect your machine if we want. But I got rid of it. It's no longer running. It's no longer starting up. We obviously need to test it. But I put it in another folder, which is here, so we can look at it a little bit later. And I gathered a whole lot of other information. But at least now it's not completely obviously doing it.
So if you just keep the copies of all this.
Very scary. Very scary.
Sorry, I don't mean to scare you.
No, you're not. But
You just naturally do it, Jake.
I didn't do this with the computer. Someone else did. I mean, they're not even very good. I mean, this is like a backdoor that I would have written as a freshman in college or something. It's just like a joke. Like literally, it's like, who are these people? Are they seriously running a government? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. These kinds of hackers, this is it's one thing, it's offensive that they're doing it, but it's actually embarrassing how bad they are at it.
But let me show you something.
Aren't you worth more than that? Shouldn't they have someone that was more than an intern? It's insulting.
Because they didn't need. This document here is being looked for the Security and Exchange Commission to indict some people, and I had right here on my desktop, and I have access to it.
Great.
So with those amateurs, they got all the information they needed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I realize that the amateurs are good enough. I'm still horrified by the fact that the amateurs are what they deploy on people. I would still expect them to do much more than that, even though they can get away with doing less.
They might have sensed that I just don't have, they know I have no resources. I can't get a new computer. How I would get proper surveillance or proper countermeasures to protect myself. And they're very much aware of that. And that's what they provide.
I refer to you as a dear friend that I met.
And I think, in a way, it's a sweet revenge because they didn't even have to spend the money they stole.
Well, maybe if you're lucky, that guy ripped them off too. You know, maybe he charged them more than he's worth.
Well, but it doesn't change the fact that they have the documents.
They might not have the documents, but they may have seen them. The thing is that all the files that we saw had not been uploaded, so they didn't get the stuff that we found. But they had compromised your machine, you know,
They
ages
could
ago.
take screenshots or whatever.
Yeah, so let me just look. Actually, now that I think about it. So it looks like they compromised it on the 8th of April. So you've been compromised, it looks like, since the 8th of April.
And you know how much information do we produce in a month?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
So I would say stuff like, don't forget to change your password, but I guess that's obvious. Right? I mean, you need to reinstall your entire computer, really. And even then, if they were really good, then that wouldn't be enough. You need to do a lot more. And so you have this sort of funny situation where, on the one hand, the right answer is that you want to like redo it all, but really, what you really want to do is get a completely different computer, and you want to set up shop on that one, back this one, and then you want to take this backup and like not touch it for a while, and wait for the new targeted exploits to come in. And this time, instead of opening the documents or something, you know, upload them to another place so you have a copy of them. And if your machine gets infected, you'll be able to see that it got infected. You'll have a copy of the original targeted exploit. You'll have an original copy of the backdoor potentially. I mean, I wish we had that original document. That document is like, it's worth its weight, so to speak, in gold, because it would show, we could learn potentially who wrote it, right? And if this is a Western company that wrote that document to exploit your computer, we could really go after them in the press. It's like, you know, the Angolan government, obviously, it's a different story. But this is a story nonetheless because you were compromised by someone taking screenshots, and it does look like it's targeted at you, and it's not picked up by any antivirus stuff. It's not picked up by any of the like things I would expect of common malware. So it doesn't look like just, you know, you got infected with like flashback or some, you know, common malware stuff. I don't do malware for a living. This is just kind of like a hunch. But my guess is that that was written specifically for a certain set of people, and it does a very specific set of tasks, and it gives them full access to your computer, and it gives them these screenshots. But I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. I need to take a look at
picture
it.
of you.
That would be my immediate thought.